Friends, I welcome you all to this session of learning English grammar. Today's topic is transformation of sentences. This topic has been designed for class 7 as it is there in their syllabus. Transformation of sentences. First of all, we shall try to comprehend its definition. What is transformation of sentences? The changing of sentences. The changing of sentences from one grammatical sense to another is called transformation of sentences. I repeat, the changing of sentences from one grammatical sense to another is called transformation of sentences. For example, if we have a positive sentence, actually what happens, in order to speak some language, we need a variety of sentences. Sometimes we need positive sentences, at other times we need interrogative sentences, imperative, operative, exclamatory, and so on. How to produce this variety of sentences? We have a solution in the form of transformation of sentences. We must know this communication skill. How can we change the grammatical sense of a sentence from positive to interrogative, negative come interrogatives, double-edged questions, yes or no type questions, tail questions, so on and so forth. We shall start this process of transformation right from the past simple tense, as you have already learned that. Past simple tense. Past simple tense. As you may be knowing that this tense is also called as past indefinite tense. We use this tense in order to talk about an action which took place at some time near or far in the past. So far as the sentence structure is concerned, it is subject plus past form of verb or second form of verb plus object, or other words. This is the sentence structure of the past simple tense. When we use this formula or sentence structure, it helps us to make only positive sentences. But while speaking English language or any other language, we do not need only positive sentences. Positive sentences or negative sentences, these are simply statements if you have to ask something. For that purpose, you need an interrogative sentence. If you have to negate a proposition, in that case, you need a negative sentence. So, how can we produce this variety of sentences? The solution we have is in the form of transformation of sentences. So, we must know this skill. So, we were talking about past simple tense. Past simple tense is used to express an action which took place at some time near or far in the past, and the sentence structure is subject plus second form of verb plus object. Let us use this formula, let us use this sentence structure and make a meaningful sentence. She is the subject here. The word she stands for subject. Subject implies agent or doer of an action. She. After that, we are required to use second form of verb. Second form of verb is also called as past form of verb. She washed. Washed. Doer of the action. Action. Now, here we put the receiver of the action. She washed my clothes. She washed my clothes. I used this formula and made a positive sentence. Now, what I need is to transform this sentence from positive grammatical sense to interrogative or negative grammatical sense. For that purpose, you must remember one thing always. In order to transform a sentence, if you have a sentence, if you have a positive sentence, and you need to change it into an interrogative, negative sentence, you certainly need an auxiliary verb. So first of all, we have to find auxiliary verb. Why does this auxiliary verb reside? It's always in between the subject and the verb. If the space between the two words is blank, in that case we conclude that the tense doesn't have an auxiliary verb. So the past simple tense doesn't have an auxiliary verb because the subject is immediately followed by second form of verb. There is no auxiliary verb. So we use did. So did, I used it here as an auxiliary verb, did. After that I take the doer of the action or subject, that is she. Did she. Here it is second form of verb. You need to bring it back to first form of verb. That becomes something like wash. Did she wash? And the object of the verb is my clothes. Did she wash my clothes? Now it became an interrogative sentence. And as you may be knowing that every interrogative sentence has a question mark at the end. Did she wash my clothes? She washed my clothes is a positive sentence. Using the auxiliary verb did, I changed this positive sentence, or I changed the grammatical sense of this positive sentence into interrogative. Did she wash my clothes is an interrogative sentence. Now, let us change the same into a negative sentence. She, doer of the action. Then this auxiliary verb is to be taken in its negative form. So it becomes didn't or did not. Didn't, by the way, is the short form of did not. She did not wash my clothes. Next. She washed my clothes is a positive sentence. I transformed this sentence. I changed the grammatical sense of this sentence, first in interrogative and then in negative. This is how you can change the grammatical sense of a positive sentence into an interrogative sentence or negative sentence. But the most important thing you must remember here is that the past simple tense doesn't have an auxiliary verb. So we use did as an auxiliary verb here. Now let's come to past continuous tense, because it's not only tense in English grammar, there are other tenses also. Past simple tense, we have learned it. Now let's move on to past continuous tense. Past continuous tense. First of all, we must know when and how to use this tense. We use the past continuous tense in order to talk about an action which was going on or happening at some time in the past. Its sentence structure is subject, S stands for subject, was, oblique, verb. It's not verb. Mostly it is mispronounced as verb. It's verb. Subject plus was oblique verb. Oblique implies either of the two, or. Subject plus was oblique verb plus in form of verb. In form of verb in English grammar is also known as present participle form of verb. So in the past continuous tense, you need to use ing form of verb or present participle form of verb followed by object or other words. Now, before we make sentences, care is to be taken that we have to differentiate between was and were. This was is used with singular nouns or pronouns. Were is used with plural nouns or pronouns. Now I make a sentence here. First of all, I am supposed to take a subject. Let it be as he. He, you know, is a singular pronoun. So must be followed by was. He was. After that, I am going to take this in form of verb or present participle form of verb. Waiting. Subject was in form of verb. Waiting. For me stands for the object. Now the sentence became he was waiting for me. He was waiting for me. This sentence affirms a proposition, therefore it is a positive sentence. Now let us see how can we change its grammatical sense from positive to interrogative. As stands already explained that in order to change a positive sentence into an interrogative or negative sentence, we have to find out the auxiliary verb first. And why does this auxiliary verb decide? It is always between the subject and the verb. So the word was is here in between the subject and the verb, therefore it is an auxiliary verb. Simply change the position of this auxiliary verb. Take it in the beginning of the sentence becomes an interrogative sentence. Let us see how. We shall change the position of this auxiliary verb. Was, remember that. Was is an auxiliary verb here. If we change its position, if we take it in the beginning of the sentence becomes an interrogative sentence without introducing any sort of change in this part of the sentence. So it becomes something like, was he waiting for me? And at the end of this sentence I put a question mark. Was he waiting for me? He was waiting for me. It's a positive sentence. Was he waiting for me? It's an interrogative sentence. Now, what should be the negative sentence? He, subject in the beginning of the sentence, then was, but in negative form. Here we have this negative form of auxiliary verb we call it. Was not, or in short, wasn't. Wasn't, by the way, is the short form of was not. He was not waiting for me. He was not waiting for me. Positive sentence, interrogative sentence, negative sentence. Now, let us move on to one more form of the past tense, that is the past perfect tense. Having learned the process of transformation of sentences in the past simple and past continuous tense, now we move on to past perfect tense. But before we make sentences in the past perfect tense, care is to be taken that we have to see what is the sentence structure that we apply in order to form sentences in the past perfect tense. It's very simple. Subject, after taking subject, auxiliary verb had, auxiliary verb, helping verb, special verb, stative verb, or not doing verb. It has got so many names, but you simply remember subject plus auxiliary verb had. Followed by third form of verb. This third form of verb in English grammar is also called as past participle form of verb. Subject had as an auxiliary verb here, then past participle form of verb or third form of verb plus object. If you memorize this formula, if you remember this sentence structure, it will help you to make thousands of sentences on your own without seeking any help from your teacher. Subject had third form of verb plus object. Now, let's apply this formula. Let us apply this sentence structure, but remember one thing, it will help you to make only a positive sentence, nothing more than that. Subject had third form of verb plus object. Let's take any subject as per your choice. For example, I, we, you, he, she. There are 7 personal pronouns in English grammar, and you may take one of them. Or proper noun, Mona. Mona is the subject, doer of action or adjective. Mona. Then had. Had is used here as an auxiliary verb, remember that. Or stative verb or special verb. Had. Here I took subject Mona and then had as an auxiliary verb. Now, what I need is to take any third form of verb, any whatever you like. Finished. Mona had finished. Subject had third form of verb. Her, it's not her, it's her work. Mona had finished her work. Mona had finished her work. You know, this sentence contains a positive grammatical sense. Now, I'll show you how to turn it into an interrogative sentence, or how to change it into an interrogative sentence, or how to change its grammatical sense from positive to interrogative. As stands already explained, I have already taught you this concept. In order to transform a sentence from its positive grammatical sense into interrogative grammatical sense, we have to change the position of the auxiliary verb. So, let us change the position of this auxiliary verb. Had. Had. After that, you are supposed to take subject, had she. Then third form of verb. Here I must tell you something very important. It happens only in the past simple tense that you are required to change the second form back into first form of verb. So far as other tenses are concerned, it's not the case there. Mona had finished her work. Had Mona. Had Mona. It's not she had, it's Mona. Had Mona finished her work. Mona had finished her work. A positive sentence, giving a statement, or accusative sentence, or you can say accusative positive sentence. Had Mona finished her work? Now it's an interrogative sentence, and as you know, at the end of every interrogative sentence, we put a note of interrogation or question mark. Had Mona finished her work? Now, we are going to change this sentence into a negative sentence. Let us see how can we do that. She, subject in the beginning of the sentence, then you have to take auxiliary verb, but that auxiliary verb is to be taken in its negative form. She had not, or had. She had not. Mona, sorry, I again commit this mistake. Mona had not finished her work. Now it became a negative sentence. So, what you have to do? You must know the definition of the tense, sentence structure of the tense. The sentence structure will help you to make positive sentences. Then you can change those positive sentences into interrogative sentences or negative sentences simply by changing the position of the auxiliary verb. For example, we have one more tense. Let's move on to this future tense. We have future simple tense. For the future simple tense, we have a sentence structure: subject plus will oblique shall plus first form of verb plus object. Take the subject in the beginning of the sentence. For example, he will come here. He will come here is a positive sentence. Can you imagine which word? Can you tell me which word here functions as an auxiliary verb? Surely it is will. We simply change the position of will. She will come here. Will she come here? She will not come here. She will come here, positive sentence. Will she come here? Interrogative sentence. She will not come here, negative sentence. So, this formula is applicable in all other tenses also, and I hope you can do it yourselves. So, I conclude this topic saying that this transformation of sentences occupies a great importance in spoken or written English. You must equip yourself with this communication skill, how to change the grammatical sense of a sentence. Okay, see you in the next session.